In space, nobody can hear you scream. Unless, of course, you're Slippy on open comms. Oh, him? He's been trying to beat the game with the lowest score. No biggie. In reality, Fox's screaming is more of a stand-in for mine. You see, last year I decided to see if I could beat Star Fox 64 as a pacifist, and while I found out that it was impossible to not kill at least 3 bosses in the run itself did get me to ask a different question. What's the lowest theoretical score you can get? So I went digging, and what I found was an Internet Archive video uploaded 20 years ago by FluteFreak7, Star Fox low score run, 24 hits. And so I set out on a journey of my own, to prove to myself that I had what it takes to break this record. So today, I'm here to answer a very simple question. What is the lowest possible score in Star Fox 64? To add a little bit of a challenge to this, I'm going to be running this as a low percent run, as opposed to just a low score run. But what is a low percent run? I'm sure many of you are familiar with the concept of an any percent speedrun, where the goal is to beat the game as fast as possible through any means necessary. In the case of the Star Fox any percent, the current world record is 22 minutes, 11 seconds, which is largely a test of killing bosses as fast as possible while taking the shortest route possible. In many games, any percent and low percent can be seen as the same run, since collecting items may increase the time a run takes to finish, but sometimes that isn't always the case. Some any percent runs go out of their way to collect certain items in order to make skips or glitches possible, thus massively shortening the run. In low percent, you would want to avoid collecting these items, and as such, you would have to suffer playing through the game normally, utilizing techniques with whatever the least amount of items are required for you to grab to progress, while still trying to beat the game as fast as possible. If a game takes 10 minutes to beat an any percent, but 4 hours in low percent, then that's the fastest low percent time feasibly accomplishable. But here's the catch. If someone finds a way to collect less than the world record, even if it takes them 1,000 more hours to do so, then that is now the fastest low percent run possible. Star Fox 64 doesn't have a main collectible, or at least not one that counts towards completion, except for your score. That means that low percent in this category is aiming for 24 or less points like Flute Freak accomplished back in 2006. But what does the run look like? Flute Freak's run is pretty simple. Corneria to Medio, Medio's warp to Katina, we lose on Katina to head to Sector X, Sector X warp to Sector Z, Sector Z into Area 6, and then from that we go on to finish the run, where he finishes with a final time of 1 hour and 33 minutes. Now if you've never seen or played this game before, that's just words, but just know that this is not only the safest route you can take in terms of earning the minimum score, but it's also the shortest route you can take in general. Okay, that was a lot of information, so let's put it to something you can tangibly see, starting off on Corneria and talking about the movement. Fox has a lot of movement tech like barrel rolls and U-turns, but we're gonna throw those out the window, baby, because the #1 tech in this run, and any run for that matter, is boosting. Not just any boosting, mind you. We're aiming to keep this boost up until the bar drains to right around here, mainly because that's how we keep the most forward momentum possible. Do it too little, and we don't gain any momentum at all. Do it for too long, and the amount of time spent recharging just doesn't make up for how long we stay not boosting. This sweet spot here means we're going the optimal speed possible. Keep in mind that we're aiming to do this the entirety of the run, even while dodging, maneuvering, and shooting when it's required. Next up, because we're not shooting any enemies, Falco gets to die again, so we are locked out of hard route this time around. The only thing between us and the end of the level is just a bunch of enemies, so it's simple enough learning their patterns and avoiding taking damage where possible. But our first main obstacle, and our first point, comes from Granga. Granga is as simple as it gets. He walks around, he shoots missiles, he says,
"You annoying little flies."
So the question is, how do we only earn 1 point? Well, every boss fight in the game has bonus points you earn depending on how fast you beat them. Do it as fast as possible, you get a sweet +10 bonus, but take too long and you'll earn a lower bonus, and that right there is the key to getting low score where we can't avoid it. The only problem was, how long does it take to decay this bonus? 5 minutes? 20? It didn't seem like Flute Freak knew in his run either, and I couldn't find anybody online with any definitive answer, so I turned towards the Hit64 community Discord, which is a collective of runners that typically aim to get the highest score. There, I had a chat with the community tasser, Warhippie, aka Weston Braille on YouTube, to see if he knew the answer. He pointed me towards a discussion where some community members were theorizing what the lowest score could be, and someone mentioned that on blue planets, which is just every planet on the right side or easy route, full score decay took 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And on red planets, which is every planet on the left or hard route, full score decay took 6 minutes 30 seconds. There were no sources cited, but this was all I had to go off of, and for the most part that rang true. I just kept boosting for 5.5 minutes straight and then killed the heck out of Granga, earning no bonus score and leaving Corneria with just 1 bonus point? That's weird, I could have sworn I counted correctly, but anyways. Next up is Meteor, and this level is pretty brain dead. We just efficiently boost up until we reach the warp gates, lock in to fly through them, and then ride out the warp for the rest of the level. On to Katina. Or are we? This was a piece of tech I picked up from my pacifist runs. Both Katina and Ficina have loss conditions that allow us not to earn any points while still proceeding, but the thing is, for some reason, Katina takes like 3 minutes longer to do than Ficina. I think it has to do with how many enemies are defeated in general, because playing Katina normally and killing guys as fast as possible makes Sorcerer show up almost instantaneously. But if you rely on your allies for those kills, it takes forever. Ficina either has a kill requirement that's super low so your allies can cover for it quickly, or it's just consistently the same timing in general. Either way, it's faster, so we're gonna pick it every time. And besides, with Katina, the enemies never ever shoot at you. It's so brain dead boring that it makes me want to sleep. Starwolf being something we want to avoid stimulates the senses a little better. Now, admittedly, I do earn points on this first run because I'm testing whether or not our allies can actually kill Starwolf here, and while they can, this unfortunately is not very reliable, nor is it helpful in the long term. But we'll get to that one later. One failed bomb defusal later, and we head on over to Sector X, which isn't too unlike Meteor, and we can easily warp through onto Sector Z. Wow, this is a really easy run so far. I hope nothing bad happens. Oh no. Alright, this is a massive hurdle of a level, and while I was prepped for it, nothing could have prepared me for just how much of a thorn Sector Z ended up being. So what's up with it? Great Fox gets ambushed in Sector Z, and the enemy sends 6 Copperhead missiles towards it to damage it. The loss condition of this level is if one missile hits the Great Fox, and because they travel too fast to decay score, the only option we have is to damage them enough so that our allies can take them out. But the catch is, if your allies are being tailed, they won't head towards the missiles. In this instance, it's better to take the lesser of two evils. 6 points sure beats 66 points, so we'll just keep this in mind going forward and take it on the chin. Just ignore this happening here. Next up is Area 6, and we actually get the 1 point on Gorgon first try. Oh, wait, I guess I mistimed this one as well, but you know what, I'll take it. Let's go. And then, Starwolf 2 happened. This is one that I knew I would dread, because surviving 6 minutes of this just sounded horrible. But as before, I had tech from my previous pacifist antics. Every iteration of Starwolf can damage each other while they're tailing Fox, but seeing as Starwolf 2 are especially lethal in this mission, they can take each other out fast. Like, 1 frame fast. With a lot of patience and a lot of precision and a teensy tiny amount of luck, you can thin their numbers down to just 1, and ride out the score decay timer to earn just 1 point. And you may be wondering, why can't you just get your allies to shoot the last member of Starwolf chasing you? And I'm gonna stop you right there, because it is impossible. Sorta. Let me give it to you straight. Your allies will target their respective rivals, but they cannot do anything if they're being tailed. To stop them from being tailed, you gotta shoot the rival to get them to break away, for a chance for someone like Falco here to actually chase Leon. But that's only a chance, and even if Falco takes it, the Wolfen 2 ships are so fast, can do somersaults, all while our allies just fly like doofuses, so he will get tailed again immediately. And doing all of this while babysitting 3 allies, keeping track of each member of Starwolf's health so you don't accidentally kill them because you have to damage them to get them to break away, all while Wolf is breathing down my freaking neck! It's just not feasible. I do think it's possible, considering that even while the chance is low, you can get tailed by a member of Starwolf even if their rival is alive, leaving it up to you to lead your allies to beating their rivals, but there's just too much that goes into this that without a consistent setup, we just gotta take the 1 point. I was testing that here too, so yeah, I walk away with a few points. And then it's Andros 2. Like every other boss, he also has score decay, but I had no clue when it started and which phase it applied to, so I just decided to run through his face phase and head straight onto the brain. And then I suffer for the better half of 14 minutes and a death, only to still earn the full 10 points for killing him. Alright, 142, 1 hour 7 minutes, pretty bad, but it was a test run. We could just run it back, not too bad, right? So boom, Corneria, Meteor, Ficina, Sector X, 1 point for the whole run, and I'm back in Sector Z. I get very, very unlucky with how many times my allies get tailed, earning 11 points. But I did manage to get my allies to take all the missiles out, so this is a massive step in the right direction. And then in Area 6, it all went horribly wrong. I've theoretically done it perfectly up until this point, so... Did that counted as points! Me calling it Great Fox, that counted as a point! I didn't do it! I've lost my buffer. What the fuck, dude? Why is there so much RNG at the end? There's so much RNG at the end. Ouch. Oh my god. You have got to be kidding me. No! Did you see that? Yeah, so Slippy killing me aside. When you call the Great Fox and it destroys a cruiser here, it gives you points. And it's not just the Great Fox, because on subsequent runs after this, your allies destroying anything in this level will award you points even if you don't participate in doing it for some reason. It's not even consistent either, because the last run I played, I earned no points. Granted, I was missing Slippy, but if you leave Falco or Peppy alive, they have a chance of destroying these little satellites and earning points randomly. We have to take both of them out to remove this RNG. With my spirit busted from coming off this pacifist run and that frickin' frog, I decided to call it a day, well, more like 6 months, before coming back and giving it another fair shot. But it's okay. It gave me the time to research things that I desperately needed to know, as it would help me make more informed decisions going forward. First, let's talk about the time. Having this vague sense of when I might be able to be the boss just wasn't going to cut it. And since this was still a run where I'm trying to go fast, having exact numbers was something I absolutely needed. And since there was no one online who had documented it, even with the game's code being recently decompiled, there was only one person I could turn to who did have intimate knowledge of the code, as he had not only uncovered, restored, and made the whole game playable as the Great Fox, but also programmed the game to be completed on foot. And he's here today to help shed light on this mystery.
Hey, it's Ellerix here, taking a quick break from my Star Fox modding and cut content channel to help answer some questions. Looking into the source code for bosses, we can see it takes exactly 9,600 frames for their bonus to be set to 0. So at 30 frames per second, it takes 320 seconds, or 5 minutes and 20 seconds, to earn 0 bonus points. But when does the timer begin counting? Well, it can be different for each boss, but let's just focus on the ones for this route. Granga's timer starts counting immediately after the All Range Mode cutscene ends. Gorgon's timer starts counting as soon as a sparkle appears in the distance. Starwolf's timer begins once all the initial scripted banter is out of the way, so Falco will say,
"You guys don't give up!"
and as soon as the next character after him radios in, it begins counting. Usually it's one of your teammates calling for help or Starwolf taunting as they chase them. The problem is, if Falco and your other teammates are dead, no one really says anything, so we can't use that as a cue. But we can see that the intro banter timer is 860 frames long, with the score timer beginning once that one finishes. This means you can start counting down an extra 29 seconds as soon as Wolf radios in. And finally, Andross's timer begins counting down as soon as his boss music starts playing. What's interesting about Andross, though, is that the bonus points you get from his brain are entirely awarded based on the time it took you to beat his face form. That means you have to stall for time against his face, but you can beat his brain form as quick as possible. Doing it this way nets you 6 points for eye and 1 point for his brain. Hopefully that helps clear things up for the rest of the run. My god, you're never going to pay off the Great Fox's loan this way, though.
Thanks to Alarix's research, it meant I was finally able to tighten up each segment in the run and have a clearer view of when I was doing good versus when I wasn't. It's especially invaluable information for Starwolf 2 and Andross, so I'm not just sitting and flying blind going forward. Next issue, Sector Z, and oh boy, this one is a doozy. Let's talk about the theoreticals first. While I was on hiatus, Warhippie was actually hard at work trying to crack the low score task, and after a few alterations on the run, he brought it all the way down to 16 points, 8 lower than Flute Freak's 24. All of those points are saved in Sector Z. You see, not only can your allies damage the missiles, but your enemies can too, and that also means they can destroy them. With precise flying and exact knowledge of how many hits it takes to destroy a missile, the task lines up the ship tailing him to destroy each missile instead of his allies. Well, not including Falco here, because for some reason he just RNG didn't get tailed for the entire level here, but that's not important. What is important is it's possible without our allies in general. Surely it's not that hard, right? And sadly, that's where our problems come in. The first thing I tried was just entering the level without any allies, since it'd be pretty nice to solve that whole Area 6 RNG problem early, and not accidentally risk earning points while taking them out there. And would you believe it? For some reason, and I have no idea why, none of the enemies tail you if you don't have an ally around. Okay, so that's off the table. I guess it is kinda nice to have a backup plan if our allies do happen to not get tailed, so the question is, how much HP does each missile have? I decided to test this for myself, and found that it takes 25 single laser shots to reduce each missile down to 1 HP, or 16 hyper laser shots if you have that. I didn't test twin lasers, but it's probably somewhere in the middle. Okay, simple enough, right? Just hit the missile 16 times with hyper lasers and get the enemy tailing you to finish them off. 6 times in a row, where each phase adds another fast approaching missile. And you're trying to get the guy behind you who can only sometimes hit the side of a barn to hit a small cylinder. And that isn't even the hard part, because if you hit the missiles 15 times and the enemy just so happens to hit it once, your 16th hit is going to earn you 11 points. Much like with the issues with Star Wolf 2 and babysitting your allies, babysitting this little chud feels 100 times worse. And through practice attempt, and practice attempt, and practice attempt, not once could I get to the 4th missile before I'd either accidentally shoot it too much and destroy it myself, or completely overshoot it and have to restart, because once you do, if it isn't when the missile is far away, you don't have enough time to turn around while also keeping the enemy tailing you and getting him to start shooting you again. And you know what I found out, because this also isn't documented? If a missile hits the Great Fox, thus failing the level, if you go to retry Sector Z on the map screen, you instantly game over. What? Did it just game over me? Are you kidding me? I mean, I guess it makes sense because the Great Fox wouldn't be able to take the hit again, but to my knowledge, this is the only level in the game where something like this happens. It's really cool, but so inconvenient for this run. Needless to say, if you don't pause and retry the level before the missile hits, it's back to the start for you. And there are many, many more variables that can go wrong, even more so than I'm mentioning here, but I think at this point you get that Sector Z is the barrier. And it's a barrier that appears 25 minutes into the run. To a normal runner, or even a casual viewer of speedrunning, this doesn't sound too bad, but you've got to realize that in low percent, you're usually taking many, many mundane actions in a row in order to earn that low score. Flying around Granga for 5 minutes and then meticulously avoiding enemies after that, you need to have focus, and a lot of it. And if you've done this 4 or 5 times already, and by the 6th run of the night, that focus starts to wane. The silver lining in all of this is that I did find a simple setup for damaging the missiles. If you hold the A button but don't build up a charge shot, you shoot 3 consecutive times. And if you tap it fast, you only shoot once. This meant I could just long press 5 times and tap once to consistently bring the missile down to 1 HP, which is way easier than just winging it. So for right now, I gotta take the middle approach. What if I try to kill the first missile with the guy tailing me and get my allies to deal with the other 5? That'll have to do for both the sake of my sanity and for the sake of actually attempting runs. Alright, it's time. It's do or die, now or never. It's time to end this. Okay, that's a little, it's a little cringe. It's time to end this. I'm gonna kill him now. I just earned score off of that. Nope, just a bum. I got a point. Okay, I have to restart. Yeah, not enough. Yep. Okay, got one. Come on, Slippy, hit it. Hit it, Slippy!
We're getting close to the base.
Ouch. How did I score a point? Oh my god, we're actually gonna see a run, chat. We're about to see a run. I hit one of them too much. One too much. God damn it. Yeah. I was so close. It was the perfect run, dude. I know what to do for Andros. I'm an idiot. If I had just shot him in the eyes repeatedly, he would have never been able to hit me ever. I was focused too much on the task. Oh my freaking... I can't do it. It's just not humanly possible. How am I supposed to win?
You must never give up, my child.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who the heck are you?
Your conscience? Or something?
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But what do I do? What can I do? This challenge just feels impossible.
You have the answers you need to do that already, don't you? Look around.
Never give up and go get 'em. Yeah, you can do it. You got this, kid.
They all believe in you. And most importantly, you'll never let yourself live it down if someone else lays claim to the accomplishment first.
You're right. I can do this. I will do this. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Conscience.
You did damn good, Conscience. You did.
So, I did it. I put my nose to the grindstone, I turned on stream, completely muted, and after 4 attempts, this is what happened next. This is also a great time to showcase just how far the run evolved, especially in its optimization, so let's talk shop. Corneria remained largely the same, but I improved the time it took to reach Granga with each attempt. It's also here that I decided we would have to put Slippy and Peppy out of commission for a few reasons. The first is, on some levels, they can just straight up get in the way or even hit you, and as we talked about in Area 6, our allies can end up scoring points. But the really important part is, we need our allies healthy at Sector Z so they can help us take out the missiles without dying. Meteor is also largely unchanged as well, just better and better flying, getting us to the warp faster and faster. Kachina may also seem like a simple play until we lose level, but it's actually extremely good practice for later when we're facing Starwolf 2. Even though here they're much weaker, when all of them are chasing you, they can still mess you up, and if they can mess you up, they can mess each other up. I always use this moment to get them to take each other out as fast as I can. Oh, and also our allies will be back for this mission, so we have to take them out here in preparation for Sector Z. But there's nothing else we can do but wait it out to a fixed time limit. On to Sector X. And it's important to talk about something that's been a consistent thorn in my side this entire time. I mentioned earlier that we typically don't earn any points so long as we don't participate in any enemy deaths, and it's important to outline how incredibly strict that is. If you ram into any enemies at any point, if they die in any way, whether it be because of our allies or because they suffer from their own friendly fire, you will earn a point. I cannot stress enough how many runs were lost because of this exact pack of enemies that come from off-screen and then ram into each other while they fly away. Secondly, to open these gates for the warp, you have to mash the ever-living heck out of the A button, and each gate is progressively harder than the last, so in our quest to be fast, not mashing hard enough means an instant reset. Let me tell ya, the workout is not something I recommend. Now it's time for the first major wall, and now it's even more difficult to avoid scoring points here randomly because if any of these little destructible pieces of debris blow up, whether because the little chud chasing you destroys it, or another random fighter destroys one while you're nearby, it's an instant 3 points for you. I bring both Peppy and Falco down to around half HP here in preparation for when they get tailed in Area 6, more on that in a bit. In this run, I managed to get the little chud to blow up 1 missile and decided it would be safest to have my allies take out the rest, hoping to only earn 5 points instead of the average 6. Unfortunately for me, Slippy got tailed by 1 extra enemy this time, but since this was the best run I had at this point, it just had to do. Area 6 was a super close one, as I noticed that Falco was not low enough to get knocked out to this pack of fighters. At risk of earning another point, I needed to send 1 more shot his way, and I actually managed to land it. Peppy goes down, and Slippy does too, so all that's left is Gorgon. And where Granga was easy enough to avoid in order to calculate when I'd need to time the final hit, Gorgon is not that easy, since it's very active during the entire fight. I'm constantly checking my time while slowly whittling Gorgon down to its final phase, and occasionally asking my chat if they could double check my calculations. While the first 2 sets of energy balls are easy enough to get, trying to time it for phase 2 of the fight and trying to get him to only fire 1 hyper beam is much tighter than you would expect. 1 final mash for just 1 point, onwards to Starwolf 2. And unfortunately, my luck starts to run very thin here. I got a few early shots off to lower their health and make them take each other out faster, with Andrew falling first and Leon not too far behind. But despite how low Pigma was the entire time, Wolf just wouldn't take him out. I'd play it too risky here and they managed to take my first life. Next life, Leon goes down, but once again they hardly touch each other past that. For the first time in all of my runs, one of them rams into me twice and takes me out. Last life. And something I haven't mentioned yet is that we actually can't gain any lives during this run. Normally we'd get those one of 2 ways, either by destroying enough enemies on a level-to-level basis, which we can't do, or by collecting 3 gold rings after we've already extended our health bar. But unfortunately, there's no more than 3 freestanding rings in any given level, unless we destroy certain ships or objects. This is a 3-life run. Any lives wasted in Sector Z can straight up ruin the Wolf 2 encounter, and it's the main reason why many of my runs don't ever finish. It's quite literally now or never. First Pigma, then Wolf, then Leon. All in a row. The fastest I had ever gotten them to take each other out. At this point, I had lost track of my timing for finishing off Andrew, so I took my best guess, and after a long 6-minute flight, we finally take Andrew out for 1 point. It's a little sad at this point to tell you that Andros 2 is pretty much a pushover. Sure, if you don't know that you can loop him over and over again by flying a specific way, not fighting Andros is one of the hardest fights in the game. But with this loop, all I need to do is last the 5 minutes 20 seconds, blast through phase 1, and get a really, really fast kill to round out the run. We just have to make sure we don't hit the walls on the final run, but with my expert piloting skills and my desire to finally see it through, I finished with a time of 58:42. I know I could have done this much faster, but being fast isn't what's important. Rob, show that final score.
Yes! Let's fucking go, dude! I did it! I did it the normal human way! Let's go! Oh my god, dude! Oh, that is the lowest natural way to do it. There are totally... Oh, I've knocked my headphones off. Did I ruin everything? Oh!
For reference, in April of this year, Warhippie uploaded a run with a score of 16, but before he used the method to destroy all the missiles in Sector Z without the help of his allies, the original task scored 21 points. With this, I became the first recorded person to hit 22 points, and break the low score record in nearly 20 years. If anything comes from this, I hope that someone out there will rise to the challenge, and maybe even push the record all the way down to 16. And Flute Freak, if you're watching this, wherever you are today, I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that this run inspires you in some way. It would probably be really weird to see this 20 years later. But, that's strange. I swear I remember someone else in the Hit64 Discord also attempting this run, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Let me search for it real fast. Wait, what's this? A low score run I haven't seen from 16 years ago? Alright, well, this has got to be a 24 or 26 run, right? You have got to be kidding me. Yeah, so it's here that I've got to concede my defeat. I wasn't the first person to hit 22 after Flute Freak's record in 2006. That honor goes to Markel Deck 6. In my defense, every video in the playlist showcasing this run has around 200 views, and when I went to go record this exact B-roll, I had obviously already seen the video, so YouTube bumped this one up for me, but I kid you not, I had to initially scroll past 20 other videos before YouTube finally showed me this. So what does this mean for me? Not to diss on Markel's run here, but it's incredibly choppy. It has cuts everywhere to more than likely save space on the camera, and you can hardly tell what he's doing half the time. I mean, look at Sector Z, I have no idea what's happening. I think it's fine that I made this video still, as I get to showcase to you the logistics of how this crazy run works. Also, he didn't speedrun it, so yeah, I win. Maybe someday I'll go back to beat this record and bring it down to 21, or maybe even lower, but for right now, I'm tired. I'm just gonna go get a snack and sleep. Thank you for watching, and an even bigger thanks to Alarix and Warhippie for their assistance in helping me parse information I don't think I would have been able to solve on my own. Thank you to GameChamp3000 for voicing and screaming as Slippy, Pinch for voicing Falco, Ben for voicing Peppy, and Fob for being the good conscience. Big thanks to the face of this video, the beautiful and talented Mozaishu, for making this adorable thumbnail. I'm always trying to find ways to support artists, so if you like this thumbnail enough and want it printed for your walls, you can support her by buying it from my Fourth Wall shop. Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members for supporting my content, even through these trying times. I've uploaded a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes content, so go ahead and check it out. And finally, thank you, the viewer, for watching. Take care, and we'll do it again next time.